these bonds that are out there, the 273, the 274, and the 275 that the federal courts use, or the courts use, and all other bonds, appearance bonds, and everything else, they're really reinsurance bonds.
Yes.
Okay? They're bonding the insurance, okay, in the process. What we have to do is basically come in and settle the bonds. We have to find out what the bond value is that they have out there and then settle it. So like your appearance bond on the traffic ticket, you settle for that value, okay, but the traffic charges, like in my case, were, say, $500, but the bond, the appearance bond, was $600. So that means when I settle that properly, I'm going to be getting back $100 credit when I walk out of there, because we're the creditor and we're pulling it out of our Mortmain account, which is that when you read through that document, it is the auto tris number, which is your Social Security number without the dashes. Because like I said, that Mortmain account person, Devine, Patrick, that's held down in Puerto Rico, can't run. He can't dash anywhere, so he can't run. But the Social Security person with dashes, with two of them, can run all over the damn place. They're holding our assets out of circulation, and that's against the law. That's why they're located down in Puerto Rico. And that's why Puerto Rico is not a state, because it's operating under the color of law or the codes or the maritime law system. It's not operating under the Constitution or the statutes of this country or nation. The very last part in that document about settling up your statement bills. Okay? A statement is not a bill. When you get a statement from the utility company, that is just a statement, an allegation. Okay? It's not a true bill. So we have to put the payment down. We accept it and put the payment down to release the negative credits to set off that bill. We give them our QSIP number, which is our Social Security number, and our auto tris number, the account number to basically draw the credits out of. They already have this. Okay, you go into dishonor, they will go right, as this document says, they will go right after that, settle it, and then they'll turn around and sell this over to a third-party debt collector trying to still get you into court to dishonor another bond that the court's going to write. You need to have your individual banker's EIN number, okay? You are a private bank, but you need to have an interface between the public world and the private. You're in the private. You as the living flesh cannot go into the public world. So you need an interface person, and that's going to be your individual banker. You have two bank accounts, your estate and your trust. And then you also are going to be the fiduciary over the Social Security, QSIP, and auto trust account, which is holding your birth certificate, which is the security which has all the funds attached to it, or your DD-214. It's pretty simple when you really read and understand this document. But you don't need to make it quite as complicated as what everybody's been trying to make it. You don't need a UCC. You don't need to go to the Secretary of State and get a kiss-off from that damn John Kerry or even the state Secretary of State. You've had this power all along. The Secretary of State is nothing but a corporate secretary. You have more power than he does when you really wake up and understand this. You just have to know how to use your power and not to abuse it and not to argue in their scenario. You come in and settle. They want the debt money, the fictional debt money, give it to them. Let them have it. I put up another form, an SF 270 form, that looks like that form, when you look at it, is what we need to do with our receipts when we send those in. You can send a payment in or request to have a payment transferred to a third party into the special or the submission processing center, Cincinnati, Kansas City, Austin, Texas, Ogden, Utah, and Fresno, California, in the IRS. We send those in to them, okay? You can send your certificate of live birth. You basically put a value on it and do a draw against that Mortmain account. But make it realistic, like I'm going out and buying a $1.5 million home. Tell them what you're going to use it for. Okay? It's going to be in the private.
Right.
You keep it in the private. You do not register it with the state. If you do not give jurisdiction to the state cannot charge taxes on it. It's private property. It's that damn simple. Just like the car that I bought. I didn't register it with the state. I don't have a driver's license with the state. So they cannot charge me for driving that vehicle. They can't charge the vehicle. They can't confiscate the vehicle. If they do, they're confiscating private property. The state has no jurisdictional claim over that vehicle. It's that simple. We have to volunteer to give them jurisdiction. Stop volunteering to give them jurisdiction over you and your assets. So basically all you need to do when you settle a bill, since it's just a statement of a bill and payment, you just turn around and give them your QSIP number and your exemption auto TRIS account number, the SSN without the dashes. And then you give them a negative credit value settlement of negative dollars per their demand. See, that statement is just a demand. It's not a true bill. But they want to try and get you into dishonor, then they can go and attack your account because they have these numbers already, okay? Because you didn't give them authorization. Now they can go, since you're in dishonor, they can go and get it, and then they can turn around and charge you with dishonor, just like the courts can charge you with contempt of court. What did Paul say? Settle with thy adversaries quickly. This is nothing new. This is old law. This is the law of merchants out here that has been operating in the Babylonian system for eons. And then into the Egyptian system, and then to the second Babylon, and then into the Greeks, or the Medes, Persians, the Greeks, and then the Romans. And now this third Babylon that we're sitting in right now, because they're treating everybody as a baby. All your contracts were signed underage. When you do these settlements as the authorized representative, the fiduciary / attorney in fact, use your power of being an attorney. If you want to do anything, take your Form 56s, your Form 56 for your Social Security account, and your two Form 56Fs, and then also your W-8BEN. Send those up to the Secretary of State and get them authenticated. Not apostilled, authenticated. But you really don't need to do that because basically, what the hell you want to go to a public official for when you're in the private? And basically, I tried to make that rev to the W-8BEN also an affidavit. Only the living can make an affidavit. The fictions can't. The public can't. So they will never give an affidavit, and they can never refute an affidavit that's made in the private. And see, your individual banker, he can operate both in the public and the private because he is an employee of a private bank, your private bank. And the state has no jurisdiction over your private bank. He is not a private banker. He's an individual banker in a private bank. You do not use the term private banker. Read the definition in the dictionary. A private banker is going to be under state control. He has to have a license by the state. But an individual banker don't, because he's working for a private bank. And we're unincorporated. So the state has no jurisdictional control over our private bank. Okay, now questions.
Patrick, when you picked your vehicle up, they did your automobile, they didn't require you to have a driver's license?
No.
Before you drove it off the lot? I've heard that from some people. Okay.
You're not a driver. And there's other automobile places out there. Okay?
Gotcha.
Yeah. You don't have to kiss ass to these damn corporations.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, stop being scared of the big bad wolf. A lot of people are. They're totally scared of, they're going to come and get me. People have done this, and basically the IRS has come after them. Well, basically, these guys that were doing some of this stuff did not have the individual banker's EIN number.
Exactly.
That 47 number is a very key component number. The funny thing is, my Social Security, my auto tris number or exemption number, and then my individual banker's number, all three of them begin with 47.
Wow.
Wow.
But Patrick, if the fraud is exposed, then that means all contracts and everything are null and void anyway, right?
You haven't settled the accounts. Okay? You have to go in and try and stay in honor and bring them to closure. Okay? Now, there is remedy to get out of it. You buy up the bonds. You settle the bonds out of your Mortmain account, which is unlimited. And then you're canceling the national debt at the same time. Because the national debt is really owed to we the people. That's the vast majority of the national debt. I said that for years.
Oh, yeah.
It's not to China. It's not to Japan. It's basically to we the people.
Patrick, this is Robin.
Yeah.
When you use the 1099-A, are we using your 1099-A to put the negative credits in there? For receipt?
You can use either one of them, okay?
Okay.
Do you want to use theirs? Basically, you can use theirs. You're going to have to handwrite it on theirs, okay?
Okay.
So that it goes through all the copies. Now, that's what Verdell did when she went and got her car. She used that and also a payment for a house.
Nice.
Now, if you want to draw funds out to, like, buy a house or to buy a something of major value, you can take your certificate of live birth, okay, or birth certificate. It's really a birth certificate now when it's issued by the state under seal, and you put the endorsement on the back of it for so much value. And you have those funds transferred to you or to your commercial bank account, a non-interest-bearing bank account and debit card.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
But you do everything. You make the negative value out to the Treasury, with the positive payment being made to you or to the third party that you're sending into the IRS.
And we send that endorsed certificate in with the 1099-A and the 56s and other validating documents.
You would send the 56s plus your W-8B, and I would send it into the IRS to that processing, to that submission processing center the first time.
Okay.
It's not going to hurt. They'll tell you if you did it wrong.
Yeah.
That's the whole gist that they're waiting for, is for us to know what we're supposed to be doing. The courts operate like we already know what we're doing because we've been signing all these damn things out here, not knowing what we were doing. But they say that we know what we were doing. You have a mortgage. You have to go to the bank. You have a loan on a car. You have to go to the bank. You have to demand the bond that is behind that loan or mortgage. And then you're going to settle that bond. You have to have a statement so that you can use either the 24, the 25, the 25A, and then the 25B is just a supplemental that goes along with the other three items. It's like a page 2 for extra information. Look at that 273, 274, and 275 that the courts use. They're all reinsurance bonds. Now, I think it's the 275 that's sort of hidden away, saying basically that this is something that is owed to the United States. Well, basically, it's the bid bond that basically the United States has coming due to them. Now, some of the state items, the state system uses their own insurance company, but they have bonds over there at that state insurance office.
What if you have some property and you want to switch your property from the public to the private? so you don't have to pay taxes no more. How do you achieve that?
You got to make sure that there's no bonds out against it. Okay? You registered that with the state, that property, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay? So the state has a bond against that property to pay the property taxes. See, that's what all you had to do was endorse and release, because when they send you that property tax statement, it's just a statement. They're asking you to make the payment, right?
Yeah.
Make it. Give them your exemption. Release the credits from your account. And then go in and get the bond and buy the bond back from them. Now you're the holder of that bond.